So let us example. You are trying to say we have any list of list of number, okay, and this is the list of number. So is then and in this list you are iterating, and after that you maybe you want to remove some element from the list, right? It's generally if you do manually, many number of times you say key we are getting exception like maybe modification exception something. Why? Because once you start iterating and on that iteration, generally Java say, hey, don't go modify your source of data. But somehow I want to, this is my requirement. We have a list of number, I want to remove some number from it. So what are the way? Generally, if we are using the stream, then how we can do, right? So is it right question? Yes, yes. So let's we have a list of so instead of let's array list. Array list. Okay. You can say add some number. So let's we have an array list. They have a couple of them. Why am I using the array list? Because this we can easily add remove here, right? So generally before stream API, generally recommendation whatever you want to do, because this array list is the mutable data structure, and you can mutate means you can add or you can remove or you can replace, right? Yes. Yes, generally this. Yes. If let's you want to remove something, hey, I want to remove. There are some operations like maybe you notice remove, okay, and here notice remove have a two of overloaded method. Notice here.
Yes. One is object, another one is
One is take a object, another is take a index. So many time confusion. If here pass I am passing integer index or the object. So have let's here say I remove. Let's I pass remove. So what you understand? Here I'm going to this is the index, this is the object, right?
Yes.
So in this case, if you remove, if you talk about and the same thing, let's I did one more times, and here I instead of this, I can also take here the collection. Okay, collection. Okay, and say this is number one. Here say number one dot current. Okay, and here I pass 3. Okay, so in both cases, here notice the array list. This is also array list, right? But what the references are you using? Here I'm using array list. Here I'm using the collections. So whenever you can invoke remove function, if your array list reference as the collection, then this means they are going to remove this object, not the index. This is not the index. And in the case of array list, it is the index. This means that 0, 1, 2, 3. Means this number of data 4 going to. So that's here it pass after and here after.
Yes.
Both method I want to remove the 3. But in this case, so remove is the sometime confusion, or you can say API in this collections. Notice I just remove the operation, but here they remove the element 4. Notice here they
Yes.
remove the 3. Right?
Yes.
So be carefully. Generally, use a remove operation. Instead of that, why not use the stream kind of things? and do the same operation. I want to remove a specific element, right? Or a specific index, whatever you want. We can do in this stream. Instead of this preferable way, don't do like this way, but many times, if you're not using stream, we can either remove, but please ensure that which uh, reference variables you are using here. Because
But like in this scenario, if we use this thing as an loop, then it will give us the concurrent exception, right?
yeah, right. You are
Concurrent modification exception.
concurrent modification exception, right? Yes. So
So, sir,
here,
one more thing. So what is type safe? Type safe means like if one thread is getting executed and another thread cannot disturb that operation. So is this type safe meaning?
no, there are two words. One is a fail-safe, one is the type-safe, right? The
Mhm.
terminology here, most probably your good word would be the fail-safe. Fail means key. This is the one exception: fail fast and fail fast, right? So and the word you are saying type safe. Type safe, the meaning is Q. Whatever the data you are putting, that should exactly what the type kind of thing. Type means integer, float, double, or a specific type. So type safety means generic. Whenever you are going to use the generic, that means this whatever the data you are going to say, that's the most safe kind of things. Type safe. But only the fail safe means like which whenever I'm going to iterating the source. Here I'm not going to any iteration. And if some threads are, let's example here. So let's here this is the source of data. Source of data. This source of data is okay. They have four number. Okay, and whenever you can start iterating, means for loop, yeah, iterate, yeah, list. Okay, so whenever iterating, at that time, whatever you're doing, virtually they are creating some copy of that. And here you are doing some finding one element, second element, and then third element you are going to remove it, right? So whenever you're going to remove this third element, so whatever your source of list and your copy of list, okay, now they have a different structure. Means currently have a 4 count, here become a 3. So in this scenario, our library say, hey, I'm not allowing to such a iteration, or you can say delete operation on the iteration function, iterate function. And whenever say for each, or you can say iterate, all are the make one kind of copy things and the source, and they are doing. So generally they are ensuring that if you are doing, if multiple threads trying to do the same thing, one thread here and one thread also come, they start iterating, right? They make one copy here and try to iterate, and here they are going to remove something, right? So due to this copy, say, hey, generally we library are not allowed to do concurrent modification. Means the same time the source is same, but two different threads, yeah, two different iterate are going to change the source data. So in this case, you are getting exception like a concurrent modification exception. At the
Yeah.
same time, two process, yeah, two threads are iterating the same source of data. One may be modified, adding, one may be modifying something, right? So generally say, hey, don't avoid such kind of a iteration. While iterating, objective of iterating is you are reading the data. Only read operation you can perform, there is no problem. Multiple thread come and read, the read operation can perform, there is no problem. But don't change the structure, don't modify them, don't add them something while iterating, right? If you are going, you can face. Sometime your application work fine, but sometime you face error, right?
Yes.
So avoiding this situation, instead of removing, why not use this Stream API? Stream API say, hey, good option. Whatever the source of data, you can start a stream. You can start pipeline, and pipelines once data read, you can read one data and flow in the pipeline. And pipeline guarantee that I'm not going to allow to modify this source. Whether you cannot do anything modification on source because we have not any pack control. Okay, so as of now, developer or programmer even reading data, iterating data, but they have not any option they can modify the list, yeah, change the value. So you cannot get any kind of a exception such things. Concurrent modification or something like that. But question is that if I want to read, it's okay. But my purpose, I want to delete some data from here, source of data. But logically stated, stream API say you cannot do, but you want some data removed from here. So what alternative you can do? You can read stream 1 data and store somewhere, and stream 2 store somewhere, which you want, just filter out there. And other you can stream, and we can create new copy of your deleted item. So instead
Yes.
of modifying the original, you can make new copy. Whatever the element you want, or whatever you don't want, just filter out. So finally, indirectly, you can achieve the concept of removing elements, right? But source cannot change. Even you can get the new element, the deleted number, right? So here you can say, hey, whatever the list of numbers, we want to, okay,
Yes.
stream, and let's filter out whatever the element. Let's element equal to 3. Okay, and after that, collect. Okay. So this code, what they're doing. So in this is way, whatever the source of data, just stream that and filter out, and indirectly we are saying we are removing the element which is the element 3, right?
Yes.
Not equal to 3. Okay, you want to remove this which is not equal to 3.
Yes.
Okay, so in this way, virtually you can say we are able to remove the element from 3, right? But
Yes.
this code is run multi-threading environment, and anywhere this will not throw any kind of exception. So preferable way, whenever you want to modify your source of data, stream logically say you can don't do here, but you can create separate copy, the modified version of the source. Whatever the source here you want to add or modify, you can create the new copy and share a response with the new copy, right?
Yes.
So this is the nowadays preferable way. Okay, is it okay? No
Yeah.
confusion.
Okay.
So generally avoid such kind of a remove or delete operation. Preferable way, please use stream and create the new content, new copy of that. Okay, so that your source of data is intent, not change, and later can be again reused. But whatever the modified version of data you want, you can collect.
Yes.
Is it okay? So let's I say let's look some couple of arranging maybe because whenever you have a custom number, you can say sorting, ascending, descending, that's okay. But let's work some on the our object instead of number, right? So let us, I am going to create one what, record. Let's say student, okay? Let's name and age. So record, there is no confusion. Look like you can write the class or you can write the record.
Mhm.
You are familiar with that?
Yes.
That's good.
Not in depth, but yeah, we don't need to write any kind of a setters and getters method for this.
Yeah. When yes, generally as possible, if possible, we are trying to use the whatever the latest feature Java concept given us, right? So that we feel comfortable.
Yes.
Any place you just need kind of plain Ojo or model a data transfer object means we have some object, and this object should be kind of immutable object, right? Means I don't want to change anything. So in this case, you can create the student, but sometimes you want to create the object, but that want some kind of mutation. I want to change some letter. Once object created, after that I want to change the something name or something address or something. In those cases, you can simply use the your class, which is preferable, right?
Yes.
Okay, and same thing, whatever you're writing here, just write in here. Okay? This, right? Name, age,
Yes.
and your constructor. Both are the look like same thing, just the different style. But this is support your immutability. This is support your mutable, right? Because here you can mutate. When we write the subtractor, you can change the value, right?
Yes.
But this is so kind of a concise code. So I'm going to create some list of students. Okay, list of say student. So now we have a now not the list of number, but list of student. Here you can create any kind of object. Okay, and here in a real application, always have some kind of list of maybe department, list of student, yeah, list of bank account or something. And after that, I perform some kind of operation, right? So let's did some couple of performance operations. So yeah, good. This is the. So here first question, let's add one. Two. Okay. So first question, in this list, I want to only name of a student whose age is greater than 31, right? So we can please look like whatever you did in your simple database SQL query like hey, select name from table where age is greater than 30. Okay. So same operation we can do still. Almost all the kind of things more than SQL you can do in HTML. So just flavor like hey, whatever the our students we have, okay, and whatever the age greater than 0, I can take. Okay.
Yes.
So what say a student stream and filter which is greater than 0, and but here I want they something is right. Age is the method, right? But here my objective, I don't want to complete a student object. Maybe I want to only just name. So this is known as a in database like a projection. Here I want to just name. So I'm not going to write the complete this code. Instead, I can say, hey, whatever the stream, I don't want to complete. Then you can do map operation. And map says I want to student name one, right? I don't want to complete object. And here say post.
Yes.
Right? So sometime in the database, they can select name is something. Similarly, you can do your names. So here you can say filter and map specific column. Specific is a number you want. Take. You can just do it, right?
Yes.
And maybe after that you can again apply some filter. If name name length and something, again you can apply some lots of operation here. Whatever the student name is greater than 25, you can get the name. But those name contain maybe length greater than 3 or length greater than 4. Additional, you can apply filter again. You can filter map anytime, so you can apply, right?
Yes.
It's clear. So even say, hey, let's print the output what the name is printing. So here print like this. So I want only those names which length greater than 3, right? So
Yes.
here, whatever the things we have, whatever the names we have here, name again I can apply filter, and say whatever the name length, name dot length greater than 3. After that, you can say to list. Okay.
Okay.
So in this way, you can apply start a stream, then filter them, then map them, again filter them. There is the multiple chaining you can do, and you can get expected out, right?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
You are getting only this name you can skip them, right?
Yes.
No, it's good, but sometime whatever the list of student I have, I want kind of arranging them on the basis of his name, or arranging on the basis of his age, right? Like ascending order, descending order, even the both, right? So for this also Stream API give very nice implementation, right? So let's say what are the students dot stream dot sort. If you write sorted, then what do you think? What would be the output?
It will be give in the form of like whatever we will give, like sorted in the form of name, then it will give as per the name. And for now, I think it will pick the first thing, first object. First object means if it is name and age, then it will pick the name, and basis on that it will sort the thing.
Let's first print your students. Okay, so your student here, and after that, let's observe what the output. Because here you say sorted, but the source is not like a number. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe ascending order, descending order, something. But your source is some custom object. So sort functions are not decide, because notice our student is not one field specific field, but they have a field like a name and age both, right? Name and age both. So here student 1 and student 2, they have a different name and they have a different age, right? So our API how can decide this is the less than or greater than, who is the first and who is the second, right? Sort means you are going to make ascending or descending, the smallest object first and then greatest, then greatest, then greatest, right?
Yes.
But if this is the number, if this is the number like 5 and this is the 7, right? So they say, hey, this should be 5 first and then 7. If it is 8, then you can say no, this is 7 first, then it is 8. If one number, then our API identify properly. But when we have some custom object, at that times our API library doesn't know on which field you are interested to arrange the data.
Yes.
Right? So if you run here, observe the output.
It will pick the natural ascending.
Notice we are confused because notice here This student object cannot be comparable because we can compare two number, but how we can compare two student? Okay?
Compared to method of comparable.
Yeah. Here I have not tell our compiler, hey, this is a really two student object, student one is the student two, but I want to still compare two, maybe on basis of his age, or maybe on the basis of his name. I have to tell compiler. So here two attribute, name and age. So these two object, two student can be comparable on the specific attribute, a specific field, right?
Yes.
Here we until you are not telling this sorted function is not helping us anything, right?
Yes.
So here say, hey, I'm going to sort it on the basis of maybe age, right? So here you can say, hey, whatever the, so I'm going to apply sorting, but whatever the student one, my student one, a student two, and let's give student one age, get the student two, right? So in this way, if you write code, see its code work fine. Means now two objects you are going to comparing on the basis of age attributes. Now it's very fine. Notice they are smallest age, greatest, right?
Yes.
So whenever you going to apply the sort as programmer responsibility, tell the field the attribute on which basis they are going to apply sort, right?
Correct.
So question is that these sorted functions are what kind of input they're expecting and what we are passing, right? So my question to you, I've written this code, it's okay, it's working fine. But as a developer, what do you think? Sort is a method. So what this method is the input and what they are returning out?
So here they are returning the comparator, or in other words, if I can say, they were using the comparable as a function parameter. Like comparator or comparable might be with both of them were classes here, which is a functional interface. And based upon that, we were just writing the functional predicate over here.
Yes, if you note, here they are expecting kind of your function that is the comparator, right?
Comparator,
Look
yes.
the comparator. If you look the comparator, it is a interface. If this is the interface, that means we have two objects comparing one object compared to two, and they return some integer value. What do you mean by integer? So integer means that whenever we have one object and two objects, this is the 3 and this is the 4. If you comparing this 3 and 5, we have a two options. This both are equal, maybe 3 equal, or maybe 3 greater than, or maybe is this. Here 3 greater than or equal, maybe 3 greater than or equal or 3 less than. This is a possible scenario whenever comparing two objects, right? So finally, this comparison here, Java library decided whenever I'm going to compare any object one and object, okay, so possible return value here can be, if both are same, this means maybe equal than 0. If this is the less than, that might be this become a minus number. If greater than, this become a plus number, right?
Yes,
If
yes.
your API return any positive number, that means your first parameter is the greater. Both API return 0, that means both objects are both number are equal. If your API returns the minus number, that means this is the lesser number, right? So due to that, these return types become an integer. Even this is type T. Type T means this is the student object, or employee object, or employee object. But output is the only the integer. So what to understand here? If sorted functions take input as a comparator, they returns the integer.
Integer value.
But what we are printing here, I'm not printing any number.
Then in that scenario, it will return again 1 or -1.
So, but if you run this output, they are printing some object, right? They're not
Yes.
printing anything 1, -2, something, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So why? What's here? They're printing complete student object, right?
Correct.
So here we have to understand. Looks this what this sorted API what return? They return a string of T. T means whatever the UR object passing. T means what the student. Student is the type of object you passing. So this sorted function internally taking care the value of 0, 1, -1 for the arranging. But what they returns, this is sorted method return complete the object. Due to that we are printing here complete the object. Maybe you can say to list, whatever you want, right? Even the print, right?
Yes, yes.
So let's elaborate more here. Sometime before right this way, notice our compiler is very intelligent. Say gray out this. So you can say even this is the way you can write the code. But let understand you why I am writing this. If this function take the comparator, so I can create the comparator object like this. Here say, hey, I can create one comparator, and comparator is our interface. If comparator is the interface, that means I have to provide the implementer interface. We already know any functional interface can be implemented by the 4-way, right?
Yes.
4-way. First, your named class means implementation class, maybe anonymous class, maybe Lambda function, or maybe method reference, right?
Yes.
Method reference. So you have a 4 option. You can do anything. Maybe you can implementation class, or you can anonymous class, or you can use Lambda function, or you can use the method reference. Method reference means already you have written some method that follow this syntax, right? You can use.
Yes.
So let's rephrase them. Let's go with the basic, maybe implementation class. Okay. So might we can write the class comparator implementers, right? And implements your comparator. Okay. I am going for student, right? In this way, you can implement. And whenever you say override, then write your implement the overwritten method, right?
Mhm.
Because this is the interface, and they have a one abstract method like compare to. We have to go with the over. This is the compare to and give the definition, right? So notice whatever I am written here, the same logic I written is here, right? So these are the another way, right? Or even I can say here, I'm writing that this same code erase it out.
Yes.
Here, whatever the code I have here, I know this will take my object. Already know this is my operator. I can create one object. Okay, and here
Yes.
this I can pass only this. It is the same whatever I written this way, or you can written it this. So here say, notice, be carefully. Sorted method is taking one comparator. I pass one comparator. What it is? Simple my implementation class. It works, right?
Yes. Yes.
So for understanding how this code works, step by step understanding how it's. Notice the same output we can get for both. Same order, right?
Yes. Yes.
So good. So even this is the one way, right? This is one implementation.
Mhm.
And similarly, someone say, hey, even you can, here I have written one comparator, that's always sort the name. But I want sort by name, not the age. Then we again going to write the different class. Maybe this is, you can say age comparator, right? Age comparator, you can say. See the age comparator. So generally, whenever write implementation class, for each attribute, you have to write different classes.
Yes.
I want to
That
sort by
makes
name.
sense.
So here I want to name something. Then again, I'm going to write another class, duplicate the same code and changing the logic of name here. So someone say, might we can write anonymous class? No, anonymous class means whatever the code maybe. Here you can say I'm class name class name comparator. Okay. You are writing that. So maybe write in this code. Okay. Or why not writing only without? I don't. Maybe I am interested. This age comparator can use the different places. That's okay. We can write the class. But sometimes I don't want name comparator. It might be not used anywhere. Just one time. So even I'm going to anonymous class. Means whatever the code this written, this code you can write as a pass as an argument. So here you can directly pass, hey, this is the code I am going to implement using as an anonymous class. Okay. So same thing, just say here you and just pass your object in this, right? So in this way, complete code, whatever this code you written instead of class, just this is your anonymous class, means any class without name, right? So here I'm just this code I am pasting here. So it's also works same for others. So right, this is the second approach is in the your anonymous class implementation of any comparator, right? It's now they are sorted on the basis of name, age, Bob, right? So, but these are the different flavor. But nowadays, most preferable can go with the this way using the lambda expression. What the lambda expression? Notice this is the same code which are this code, right? This is the input parameter to input, and this is the code. Same thing. This is the written here in the lambda expression, right? So maybe can sort same code, whatever this code written. Yes, just I not want to implement. I want to maybe lambda expression. So lambda expression nothing. Whatever this important part here is a lambda, right? So this is the notice. Only those code you can write here. Eh? This is the my basic two parameter, and this is the return value. This is my business logic. So these things you can just write flat here. Hey, this is my two input stream, and just place arrow here, and just and one liner, even you can say return or just remove it, remove your return. Okay. So this way you can use this lambda expression, right? Even while lambda expression is just the same business logic. This is the code you written here, right? There is same code written in the lambda expression. And even so, this is the student, even not required this student related. It's understand student, hey, these two parameter your student. So understand, hey, this is the way you can write this. So even this is the one way which we initially write here, right? Our initially first time writing our here, right? The same thing for age, and same thing here written for the your name. But generally, we are not interested to this case because these are the very generic. Whatever the any object generally field would be, maybe string, maybe integer, maybe double, maybe float. So these are the standard Java object, and Java already know how to comparing the two string or to number or to double or to float. So for that, already this compare to method is implemented by our library. So why you are writing your own code? So let's use the existing method already available. Okay. Notice this is the string object. So string class already have a no. This is the string. Notice this is the string class, and our
Yes.
name is a string. So this string class already given the compare method, right? Compare method. Okay. This is the comparing to. So why you are going to write your own compare to method? Why not use the existing library function, right?
Yes, yes. Integer and also gave this.
Similarly, integer class, integer also given a compare method. Because these are the standard data types, and Java know कि many different ways the objects are used. So instead of you are going to write your own function, let's use the existing method that help us your method references. So here, instead of lambda expression, even more option, I'm not going to use any kind of implementation. I am going to provide like a method reference. So he went here. So notice here what the method reference say. One common comparator class, utility class given by your library. And here notice they have a all the method compare method already, right? So say whatever the comparing, but comparing what kind of object you want to compare, integer, float, double, or give the what kind of things. So this comparing function is very generic. If I pass here name, they can compare on the basis of name. And if you pass, and after that, let's after that time just map them. Only not full name. Okay. Right?
Yes.
Student name. Okay. So I'm sorting on the name and even the same I can want to age, just change the age. And here okay, that's the name. Age. Okay.
Yes.
So what this utility function already exists for us, and this say just use comparing and tell me the which field you want. You want to name, you want to age. I am provide the, all the comparing logic. Don't you write? Okay.
Yes.
So method reference help us to reuse the existing code. Run here. This the same comparing method is for name, is for age, is for notice here. This is a sort on the basis of name. This is a sort on the basis of number, right?
Yes.
So whenever you go, let's use this existing implemented method instead of you are writing your own function. But you can do it. The sorted function say I am just expecting comparator interface. So notice this function are expecting one comparator interface. But what you passing? You are calling another method. So this comparing method return the implementation of your comparator. Here I am written my own implementation, right? This is my own implementation. But similar things already our library. If you notice the comparing return your what comparable, comparing two objects, right? So our library understand, hey, these are the comparable object I can compare. So these compare functions are written more generic. Even you cannot try to understand, but this are the more generic means whatever the types you pass. Maybe you want to number, you want to float, and double, and again a custom object. On those internally, they implemented your notice the compare to method. Notice a compare to method. So now we don't worry. I am going to how to write the comparative method. Library already provided for us. We just use them and just tell, hey, this is my student object. I want to name, I want to age, I want to salary. Just tell the field name, and they are providing the sorted object.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
So even nowadays, generally, we are not writing the different comparator, like age comparator, name comparator, salary comparator, right? Good option. Just use our method reference and use the inbuilt method.
Yes.
So notice these sort method or sorted methods many times used whenever you are developing API. Maybe you are maybe creating some grid of data, like maybe student grid, right? Student have a name, age, salary, roll number, whatever, right? And here customer want click on the name. So you want to arrange data on the name base, or clicking on the age, you want to arrange the click age basis. So in this scenario, whatever the list you have, and just click, users have click on a name, you can just change the value name here. Name sorted happen. If customer click on the age, you can just change the age. Here your same list return on the sorted of age. So whenever your API return the list and they want on the different attributes, you can just use this API.
Yes. Can we wrap up this session?
Yes. Okay.
Today I'm very exhausted. We played basketball in the evening and after that.
No problem. So it's okay. You have any question for the day?
Nothing. Actually, I tried these methods few days back.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
for this interior and